Kamala Harris's relationship to Catholics and Catholic beliefs have been an ongoing topic of conversation this campaign cycle. In the past, she's had stern questions for judicial candidates who are members of the Knights of Columbus, the world's largest Catholic fraternal organization. Now that past scrutiny is bringing renewed scrutiny to her campaign.
Every day, courtroom, I stood proudly before a judge and I said 5 words: Kamala Harris for the people.
Kamala Harris is making her case to become the prosecutor president. As a U.S. Senator from California, she earned a reputation for being a tenacious questioner, especially of judicial nominees.
Can you think of any laws that give government the power to make decisions about the male body?
I'm happy to answer a more specific question.
There are some questions Harris asked in the Senate Judiciary Committee that Catholic voters may want to know about.
In Article 6 of the Constitution, it very explicitly bans religious tests for public office. And that's precisely what Kamala Harris did.
In May 2018, in written questions for the nomination of Peter Phipps for the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Pennsylvania, then Senator Harris noted Phipps' membership in the Catholic fraternal organization, the Knights of Columbus, asking if he carried out the Knights' mission of defending the right to life of every human being from the moment of conception to natural death. In November of that same year, Harris scrutinized another Knights membership, that time with nominee Paul Mazie, as he was being considered for the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit. She asked if Mazie was aware the Knights of Columbus opposed a woman's right to choose, and whether he believes that a fetus is entitled to any protection under the U.S. Constitution. And then in December 2018, Harris grilled a third judicial nominee over his Knights involvement, Brian Bisher, who was nominated to the U.S. District Court for the District of Nebraska. Among other questions, whether Bisher believed abortion is the killing of the innocent on a massive scale.
I mean, really inappropriate questions that have nothing to do with a person's ability and their loyalty to this country and their previous service.
Catholic attorney Mary Fiorito looks back on Harris's zeroing in on the largest Catholic fraternal organization in the world.
As someone who is running for higher office, they're always looking to where their big donors are standing. And of course, 2 of her hugest donors have been, advocacy groups for redefinition of marriage and advocacy groups for abortion.
In response to Harris's past scrutiny of the Knights, the Archdiocese of San Francisco, where Harris got her political start, tells EWTN News In Depth, any reasonable and informed person would not disparage members of one of the world's largest charitable organizations that supports widows, orphans, and the less fortunate. The Knights of Columbus adhere to the highest standards of professional, ethical, and moral conduct.
I want to ask you a hard question. Are you now, or have you ever been involved in the organization of a fish fry?
As a consumer, I have.
Former U.S. Senator Ben Sasse of Nebraska spotlighted the concerns during one nominee's confirmation, while also taking action against it, introducing a religious test resolution, which passed in the Senate.
The resolution simply says that it is the sense of the Senate that disqualifying a nominee for the federal bench or for any federal office on the basis of his or her Catholic beliefs or membership in the Knights of Columbus violates the No Religious Test Clause of the Constitution.
EWTN News reached out to the Harris presidential campaign for comment about her questioning over Knights of Columbus membership and has not heard back. But the founder of the group Catholics for Harris tells EWTN News In Depth in part, quote, I can confidently say that Vice President Harris deeply respects and admires our Catholic faith. While neither she nor former President Trump fully embraces all of Catholic teaching, she proudly defends core components of our faith in her public service.
The Constitution certainly does not allow religious tests for office. It's right there in writing. No religious test should be applied. And I think that asking a person whether they are members of the Knights of Columbus certainly runs up against that prohibition in the Constitution.
Journalist and historian Matthew Continetti says the mainstream media is memory holing some of Harris's past extreme actions, but advises Christian and Catholic voters to not also fall into forgetting.
I do think that is a major concern, and I do think it should be on people's minds as they decide for whom to vote in November. Until she actually renounces them, until she actually goes before the American people and says, you know what, it was wrong for me to single out that district court judge nominee on the basis of his faith, well, then she should be absolutely held to account for her views.
I just would caution listeners to be very careful if you're told that, Kamala Harris wants to be the president for everyone. She wants to be a uniter, because we have not seen her lead by example in that regard.